Sharia, which is based on the Quran, Muhammad's life, and the sayings of Muhammad and his successors. Sharia reveals the way of life for each Muslim. It instructs Muslims that the example of Muhammad must rule nations and make them Islamic in every aspect. At family level, father or husband is called to establish the codes of Sharia. And at state and global level, government is responsible for enforcing the principles of Sharia. Examples of these principles are laws about food, polygamy, the age of marriage, disobedience, criticism, level of punishment, alcoholic beverages, adultery, non-Muslims, jihad, etc. The central focus of Sharia is to Islamize everything and person. Its motive is conditional. You are not safe if you do not follow Islam. Sharia treats its own Muslim family members unkindly. What do you think it will do to non-Muslims? Let us see the instructions of the Sharia of Islam about non-Muslims. Sharia does not treat non-Muslims as human. The Quran calls non-Muslims unclean. This is why non-Muslims who work in Saudi Arabia should stay 24 kilometers away from Mecca. Again, this has been why some Muslims had no choice but to wash their hands after shaking hands with non-Muslims. Or if they offered food and water to non-Muslims, to wash their plates and glasses in an Islamic way. I was taught from childhood, if we touched a non-Muslim, we had to wash ourselves in an Islamic way to purify ourselves. The Quran also calls non-Muslim worst of beasts, dogs, pigs, monkeys, and donkeys. Calling others as animals is treason to God, to humanity, and even to Abraham, who is called the father of both Jews and Arabs. Muhammad and Jews are both the offspring of Abraham. How can God, who loved Abraham, say to his face that his offspring are animals? How could the grandchild Muhammad tell his grandfather Abraham that his grandchildren from Isaac were animals? Only the grandchildren from Ishmael were humankind. Isn't this disrespectful to grandfather Abraham, who loves his own grandchildren? By calling Jews animal, you are indeed saying to the grandpa that he produced animals. Sharia calls non-Muslims animals in order to legitimize murdering them. Surah Al-Anfal in verse 39 says, slaughter non-Muslims until there is no more disbelief in the whole world and all submit to the religion of Allah alone. This is the motivation behind much of the terrorism towards non-Muslims taking place in some Islamic countries. The Quran calls non-Muslims kafirs and says that they may be hated, mocked, deceived, plotted against, enslaved, tortured, and killed if they do not follow Islam. This kind of attitudes and actions are fully rejected in the gospel of Jesus Christ. The loving, compassionate, and kind God does not ask his followers to persecute others for the sake of their belief. Friends, there is not a single verse in the entire gospel of Jesus Christ to encourage hatred or murder. You cannot find any verse like that. Why? Firstly, because God values the life of his creatures so much. Secondly, since we have not created people, we therefore do not have any right over their lives. It is not possible to create peace in the family or in society with hatred and hostility of Sharia. But it is possible with the love and kindness of Christ. So the love of Christ is the better model for human relationships, not the Sharia of Islam. Dear friends, the book of such amazing love and kindness is rejected by Muslim leaders with the excuse that the name of Muhammad does not exist in it. They do not know that such love from the true God is better than the names of all prophets.